Hi, you guys. How's everybody doing? Hope you have had a lovely, what day is it? I think it's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. I hope you've had a lovely Monday. I have certainly had a productive Monday. And I thought I would come on real quick and just give you a peek at what I've been up to. And, you know, So I listed a couple of these Reader's Digest journals. I think it was like a couple days ago. And when I made the video to just flip through them, I mentioned that I was kind of doing these a little bit different than what I normally do. And that is that I've been working each one individually to completion and rather than working on all of them kind of simultaneously. And I don't know, I have to say I tried that and it's just really hard for me to do. And the biggest reason for that is that I can't have everything that I need to work on a journal out all at one time, and so I figure I might as well just do one process at a time on each book. And you know what? It's just faster. That's all. It's just faster. And it helps me be a little bit looser and a little bit more expressive, I think, in what I'm doing. And it also kind of helps a series of books have some sort of what's the word? Um, I don't know, similarity or cohesion, that kind of thing. So I finished the rest of the Reader's Digest that I had gotten to the point where I had stitched in the signatures. So I finished all of them, and I feel like it didn't really make any difference. I feel like each one still has its own flavor, its own personality, and each one of them got just as much love. So I did want to show them to you real quick because I have them listed now in my shop, and I want people who visit my shop to be able to see a little bit more inside the journals. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip through. I'm going to flip through all of them. Not as in depth as I normally do. I'm just gonna really seriously just flip through them. And if there's anything that I think is, really important to point out, I will do that. First thing I want to say is that I've done quite a lot of work on the covers on these books. Sometimes I don't do that because I just want the cover of the book to speak for itself. But one of the best things about working on these Reader's Digest is that these covers are so neat. They're just, I don't know, I just think they're so interesting and so vintage, and they just really inspire me to embellish them. So that's what I did. And so I really, I totally went nuts on the spines on all of them. So each one of them's got, buttons and scrappy fabrics and seam binding and that kind of thing. That kind of coordinates with the cover and that sort of thing. I did a charm dangle embellishment clustery thing on each one. Of course, they're all different. I've used some of my rusted snaps, some of my little tiny tags that I've been making, and I just love. Um, I put on each one of the, where'd it go? Oh, did I not put one on this one? Hey, I didn't put one on this one. I've been adding one of the little paper clip beads on each one of these. And yeah, I think I forgot this one. So wait, I don't know about that one. One second. Let me find one that I like to go with this one. Yeah, this one's good. Anyway, so, oh, there it is. I didn't see it. Okay. Okay, I guess I did. I'm tripping. Anyway, so I attached one of those on each one of these little dangles. One of the paper clip beads that are kind of a new like craze started by Paula Forder, and they're just really, really cool. So anyway, I've done a lot of rusting of various metal items lately, and so I've used a number of those items on these little dangles, and disassembled some jewelry and added some of that kind of stuff to them. So, and of course, some of my little tiles that I make out of postage stamps. Here's a little teeny one. So, and then on this one, of course, there's some whatever you call it, trim and some paper flowers. And then on the front, I've attached a little bulb pin with a rusted lock and key on there. And then the book plate, inside the book plate, it says Precious. So that would be the title of this one. And then I use like a double layer of seam binding with a hitch post closure. So okay, so like I said, to get through all of these, I can't necessarily pull out every single tag and that kind of thing, but I'm going to just flip through these and show you what is in each one, basically. So really similar to the ones that I just, that I listed a couple of days ago. Lots of vintage book pages, vintage wallpaper, vintage wrapping paper, lots of tags with stitching. I've used my child life magazines. I've used my vintage field guides for flowers and birds and butterflies, and lots of encyclopedia pages from some vintage encyclopedias, some children's encyclopedias, vintage, sewing patterns. There's some tuck spots in most of them. Recipes, handwritten, really old recipes, book pages from children's books. I cut out some single entries from some of the children's encyclopedias, and I kind of just glued those in, and random little spots. I used a lot of my old postage stamps that are the love stamps. Kind of one day just sat and pulled out a whole bunch of them out of my stamp collection. Lots of little fussy cut images and stuff like that. I pulled out my die cutter and cut out a bunch of ovals from the book pages that I've glued together. There's a new love stamp that I actually canceled. So technically, I guess it's canceled. Can't use it now. But, when I buy those old collections, like stamp collections, I sometimes use the stamps as postage. This is actually my mom and her sisters. Yeah, I sometimes use the postage. I asked them at the post office, like, can I still use this like 2-cent stamp? And and they were like, well, yeah, as long as it's not canceled, So I do sometimes, just to, I don't know, be a brat. I used a little bit of my eco-dyed paper in these. Not a ton of it, but a little bit. I actually did, I dyed some canvas or duck cloth or whatever you want to call it yesterday, and it turned out really cool. I'm going to take some pictures and show it to you guys in our Facebook group. Excuse me. Yeah, it's pretty late. It's like 2 a.m. But I wanted to get this video done because I listed those journals. So I know I'm going really fast through this, but but I have a goal. So I love that those Child Life magazines. They're so awesome. They're from like the early 30s, late 20s. I picked up a couple dozen issues of that magazine this summer in Arizona, and I don't know, some of them I can't bring myself to just disassemble all of them, so I've kind of just gone and taken apart the ones that were in the worst condition, and so I'm using those. All right, so that is Precious. And then next, this is the book called Daydreams, and it's kind of the same sort of stuff on the dangle. A couple of tiles from postage stamps. This one has this really cute little ceramic kitty on it. Some old coins, some old foreign coins. So, and then I've just tried to pick up the colors that are already in the cover, and just kind of correlate the seam binding and that kind of thing with the colors on the cover. So yeah, so this one is Daydreams. I wonder if I should just put this video to music. That might be the best way to go. I don't know how to do it though. I'm sure it's not that difficult. So I do use some, you can see the imprint from the bottom of my cookie sheet on here. I do use some newer paper, some scrapbook paper. But for the most part, like everything in my journals is either from a vintage book or a magazine, or something like that. Like for the most part, like everything in my journals is some kind of vintage paper. Excuse me. I live in Washington State, and right now we've got horrible fires going on, and our air quality is just terrible. Every day, they're issuing warnings and telling people to, just stay inside and that kind of thing. And I've noticed that it really is kind of starting to get to me. It's been a number of days now that it's been bad. So if I sound a little like, ugh, I have a feeling that that's why. And also, I'm probably a little bit tired, but I'm not sad. I'm not depressed. I'm really not. I've had people say that before on my videos, that they think I sound like I'm sad or something. This is a little envelope that I just put some baker's twine on it, and I'm not sad. I'm never sad. I wouldn't make a video if I was sad. Just saying. I'm actually a pretty happy person for the most part, you know. And if I'm not, um, yeah, I'm certainly not gonna make a video for YouTube. But anybody who knows me will know that if I'm ever upset about something, I- I'm I don't hide it, and I let it go. I let it out, and I get over it pretty quickly. So yeah, if you watch the flip through of the other two Reader's Digests that I listed a couple days ago, I talked about, you know, basically all of the content of these journals because the base pages all came from similar books. Like they all came from the same books. You know, they just all have different embellishments and stuff in them. So, and if you've watched any of my flip throughs or if you own any of my journals, you know that, you know, I do try to make sure that there's a good balance of empty writing space um, for you to use to, you know, it's a journal, right? So I try to make my journals with that idea that people use these to write in, and you know, they don't necessarily want every single page embellished to the hilt, you know. I mean, some people do. So, you know, and there's lots and lots of journals that are made that way, and I totally respect that, and you know, they put a lot of work into doing that. So, but that's just not my style. So, whoops, I forgot to put something in that pocket. Um, I do try to make sure I put something in every pocket, and you know, and that's part of it. Like that's the fun part for me is, you know, stuffing them, filling them up. So, okay. So that is Daydreams. And then let's do this one. This one is called Pretty Things. I made this kind of a little tassel on this one. Oh my gosh, I hope I've been in frame. I haven't even looked. Um, I just made this little tassel out of the scraps left over from when I was harvesting seam binding to do the spine on this. So I had these little pieces left, so I just made a little tassel. So this one's also got the, you know, dangle. I have this um, chain tassel in my box of charms, so I just put it on here. There's another old coin, one of those little tiny tags, and I added a key on this one, and then here's the paper clip bead charm. So pom-pom trim. Thank you. Okay, so this one's called Pretty Things. It's kind of got a green and orange flavor, so I just really tried to kick that up. And, you know, not necessarily throughout the whole journal, but as far as the cover, you know, playing on the colors that are already there in the journal or on the cover. Some of them are a little bit thicker than others, and that's probably because the tags that I used in some of them are, you know, maybe a little thicker than they are in another one, you know. So each one of them, as far as I can remember, each one has one of my little tags in it that I made. I just took some muslin and this little stamp that is almost like a typesetting kind of thing, and I stamped out my name and my website, and then I just attached it into the journal as like a little pocket. That's kind of my way of, you know, identifying it. Lately I've been using one of my business cards and just, you know, signing it and inserting it into the journal. So you know, you have assigned something from me. And I wasn't doing that for a long time, and then I had people asking me why I didn't do that, and I didn't really have a reason. So, and people asking me to do that, so I just kind of started doing that. Basically taking credit for my work, which is a good thing, right? Excuse me. Yeah, that's if you look at the news, you'll see like Washington State is just really, our air quality is just terrible right now. And of course, I was out and about today. I had to go to Walmart and get some more of those little, they have these little storage boxes that are like back to school little boxes, well, like pencil boxes. And they were $1 a few days ago when I got some, and now they're down to 75 cents. So I had to get like 20 of them. I'm trying to reorganize some stuff. So, and I always say I'm going to do like a studio tour, like a walkthrough kind of thing or whatever. And I've done it before on a live stream in Facebook, but I've never done it on YouTube. So who knows? Maybe one of these days I will. And I always leave these long just because, you know, I think people like to, you know, attach things on them. I mostly just try to give people a canvas that they can work in, you know, that maybe has some inspiration in the pages, you know, and material to work with. That's kind of how I look at the stuff that I insert into the pockets. It's not always intended as, you know, something to journal on. Sometimes I insert stuff in the pockets and things like that to maybe be used in an art journal type application or something like that. So anyway, or maybe to make some of your own tags or whatever. So, so this one looks incredibly busy, and the pictures of it, it doesn't come across well in photos, but it's because the cover is just very busy, and I didn't realize that it was going to come across that way, but I actually really like it. I love the colors in this cover. It's just kind of like a soft peachy kind of orange and a little bit of a yellowy type of orange. It's just really, really pretty. So you can see a little bit better on the back. So yeah, they're almost like little cactus trees or something. It's really cool. I love this cover. I've had another one of these before, and yeah, so I really like it. All right, so this one's also got the same kind of stuff going on. No tassel like the other one, but there's the paper clip bead charm and an old key, and here's a little rusted lock and some other little charms and things like that, some old buttons, and then buttons on the spine, as well as a bunch of little fabric scraps and some seam binding. Okay. What's our time? Oh, 24 minutes. Not too bad so far. That's because I'm not taking everything out of all the pockets and that kind of stuff. I did, I put some of these are little booklet covers that I had made, and I hadn't ever gotten around to actually making them into booklets, you know, by putting pages in the booklets. So I thought if you want to do that, there's a little cover for you. And there's like, little charms hanging off of the tabs and things like that. There's little pockets everywhere. Whoops. Most of these little tags that I've made, I've gessoed the back of them, so the text doesn't necessarily get in the way of writing. This is a separate little tag. Yeah, this one's gessoed. It's hard to do this without talking. Like, I'm thinking maybe I should just not talk, but it's hard to not talk. Here's another one of those little booklets. So these are made with tracing paper, and then I just took a bunch of the little punched shapes and stitched the tracing paper on top of a piece of, I don't know, like a book page or, different things. And so it's kind of just floating free in there, those shapes. Almost like a shaker card type of thing. This page has another coin and then this little bead charm. Lots of pages from my field guides. I haven't gotten into the dog ones that I got. And see, there's another empty pocket. Let's see. Better put a playing card in there. That's what I usually put in those. Yeah, I haven't gotten into my dog field guides. I got 2 of them. They're really cool. Like, well, I guess it's not really a field guide, but it's like a guide to dog breeds, The pages from the Child Life magazines, I wanted to keep them as much intact as I could. And so this is what I'm saying. Like, I feel like some of these pages, you could remove these pages from the book pretty easily and use it in like art journaling or something if you want to. Or the other thing you could do is just glue this down on either side and make that into a pocket if you want to, I love these little tags now. It's kind of like my thing lately. Little tiny tags. So these are like double pockets, I think I was showing you guys this tag on the live stream yesterday. Yep, I think when I get done with this flip through, I'm gonna, oops, I'm gonna take my fussy cutting and go crawl in my bed, put a movie on, and cut some butterflies. Going camping this weekend. Well, yeah, I guess it's camping. We have a cabin that we're renting just for the weekend for 3 nights, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday night. And so I won't be here for my live stream on Sunday. I was thinking about maybe streaming extra long on Wednesday, or possibly stream again on Thursday. I don't know. Because I know there's other people that stream like on Tuesdays and stuff, so I don't know. If you guys are into a live stream, maybe tonight, meaning Tuesday night, let me know in the comments, and maybe I can do that. It'll be kind of fun. I have a couple of projects that I'm planning, planning to start now that I've got these Reader's Digest books all finished. So, all right, so here's the spine on this one. This is all just fabric on this one. I tried to tear it into the thinnest little strips that I possibly could without, and keeping it straight. And I got a lot, so they're kind of fun. Lots and lots of little goodies on this dangle. There's even a little piece of that vintage fabric that I got from Rachel. Little rusted, safety pins and snaps and things like that. I just love that kind of stuff. All right, so this one is called, so that other one that I just flipped through, I titled it Travel the World. That's the name of it, because it doesn't have a book plate on it. Lord knows this didn't need anything else on the cover, but so I called it Travel the World. So so this one is Quietly, and this is our last flip. It's kind of heavy, that little charm. This was actually an earring. I can't imagine wearing that. It's really kind of heavy, I think, as for an earring. But anyway, little pockets. So in our Facebook group, I had posted yesterday a picture of my desk, my messy desk, and it's so fun to see people posting pictures of their messy workspace, because what one person considers messy isn't necessarily messy to someone else, right? Like when my desk is messy, most people say that it's actually still pretty organized, but it looks messy, anyways, I'm just rambling, but I'm just thinking about it because if you could see right now, like it's actually pretty good. It's pretty organized. I should take a picture of it and send it or post it in there. Lots of little fabric tabs, and I like to take postage stamps and just kind of stick them on in little random places. I was kind of inspired to do that by I always forget what her name is, but Ephemera's Vintage Garden. That lady. I like how she does that. So ever since I started making junk journals, something about her journals and her voice or something, or I don't know what it is, but I just really like her work. So I've kind of emulated some things that she does, They say the greatest compliment you can get is somebody copying your work or copying what you do. So I kind of agree with that, I mean, you don't want to necessarily copy somebody, but I mean, you do your own thing. But if you're inspired by somebody else's process or some kind of thing that they do that you work into your own work, and because it's inspiring to you or you just like it, then I don't think that there's anything wrong with that at all. And that's why we show our work. That's what we're doing. We're here for each other, to inspire each other, and and get inspiration from each other. So yeah, so using somebody's technique or somebody's method of folding paper or something um, is cool in my book. So these are just 3 little tags. Okay, so these are all, well, the little things getting hooked on that lace. So these are all active right now in my shop, and I believe there are 10 photos with each one. If you have any questions about anything whatsoever and you feel like I can give you an answer, then leave me a comment or send me an email or something like that, or ask in my Etsy shop or something like that. Send me a conversation in there if you want. So okay, you guys, well, I am gonna hit the hay, and thank you very much for watching. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, make sure and do that, and then click on the little bell when you hit subscribe, um, and then you'll get notified when I do my live streams and when I post new videos and all that kind of stuff. So all right, you guys, take care. I love you. Bye.